Morasco. This is a guy that actually doesn't seem like he's played a whole lot lately. I think 2016 and 17, it seems like he got hurt. So the only stats I could really find were 2015 that were any bit legitimate. All right, he played in barely any games in 16 and 17, at least from what I saw on the MLL stat sheet. So he had 13 goals, shooting percentage of 30, not bad, and assists 4. Now, Morasco is a very, very simple player, at least in my eyes, and this is a guy who gets things done relatively efficiently without having a ton of speed and some of the physical attributes that people may attribute to good players. So let's watch this first one. Let's move forward here. All right, good. Boom, little jump shot. As you guys know, I can't stand jump shots, but, you know, there's an exception that proves every rule. All right, but one thing I really like about this jump shot, well, not the jump shot, not the jump part, but the shot in particular, is look at his stick. Now, he might be leaving his feet and the goalie might know he's shooting, but a lot of field players tend to have their stick right about, when they're here, especially when they jump, their stick has this outward angle like this. Now, you don't want to have that outward angle because you're decreasing your angle as a shooter. You want to increase your angle as a shooter. And with some videos that we've put up before, there are tricks and ways to do that, all right? Getting that top hand up and in, getting that stick on a vertical plane when you're going down the alley, because every step you take going down the alley, you lose angle, all right? So you want to make sure you're really focused on increasing your angle as you're getting pushed down the alley as a midfielder. So I really like what he does here with his stick. Gets it vertical, and you'll see it come pretty much straight down on that line as he's shooting. All right, so go forward, bang, right there. Beautiful. Hard for a goalie to read. Here's the same shot. It's coming down straight, literally straight over the top. That's what a true underhand shot looks like. All right, that's what a true overhand shot looks like. Straight, that's what we call chopping wood, straight over the top. All right, you really want to have that nice snap on that shot as well. All right, let me zoom back out here. All right, now this is a pretty similar shot, except it doesn't have a jump, which I absolutely love. Straight over the top. All right, coming down the alley, sticking the left hand this time. I actually don't know what hand he is, which at the end of the day, I guess is a compliment, right? I'm not really bullish on having two hands. I don't think it's necessary to have two really strong hands. I'm not saying it's not effective, because clearly it's effective. But when you're talking about, you know, the guys who have led these professional leagues and, you know, have set NCAA records, a lot of them are box players, you know, Canadian-based players. So you got to think about that, having a strong hand versus having two really good hands. But Morasco clearly has two very good hands here, and it's very slick. One thing he's really good at is understanding what he isn't. All right? Knowing yourself as a player is really important. And the way he dodges is something I really appreciate, because he knows he's not a very fast guy. He knows he's not the quickest guy. But if you watch him dodge, his head and his eyes are always up, right? Even, you know, the helmet might have a little bit of a tilt to it, but his eyes are up, and his back is always straight. And as you can see here, as I always talk about, he's at 90-degree angles. All right, you want to be at 90-degree angles when you're dodging, obviously, but especially if you're not a naturally fast guy and you can't just blow by people, position is everything. All right, look at the first thing that comes up when he sits back in that chair. The first thing that comes up is his head. End of story, right? He can see a slide coming. He's got to stick to the inside. That's how you want to perform as an offensive player in this position. I think I have another clip coming up right here. Right, okay, so this might be a slightly different angle, maybe a better angle for some of you guys. He comes up, heads up. He sees what's going on, right? He turns. Look at the first thing that turns. Head is coming around. If I zoom in here, bang. Head is coming around, and he's trying to get his head and his eyes up. I know you've heard me say this before, but you got to understand that doing the right thing as a player ends up always being the right thing. Doesn't matter if you're Kyle Harrison or whomever. You you know, all humans move the same. So if you look at the best players, they tend to all move the same. Whether they're fast or slow, that's a different story. But the best Dodgers are not great Dodgers because they're fast. They may be fast, but they're really great Dodgers because they're super efficient with their speed. They understand position and they're not going into their dodge at full speed. All right? So that's how you want to think of that. All right? He's very calm. Simple. He just understands where he is on the field. It's not that complicated. He's a very, very simple player. Coming down the alley, bang, gets that stick to the inside. Beautiful shot. Love it. I mean, there's no real secret there. Just beats his guy. Comes down. There weren't a whole lot of highlights on him. At least, you know, a lot of his goals or his assists seem very similar, you know, so I didn't have to clip out a bunch of highlights from YouTube or whatever, but, you know, he's kind of just, he tries to find the shortest distance between 2 points when he's dodging, and he increases his angle with his shot here, all right? That's important. So, I know that was a little bit of a short one, but Jojo Morasco, things I want you guys to pay attention to, all right? Solid split dodge. He's not that fast. Shoots with both hands equally. I can't tell if he's a lefty or righty, which is a good thing. All right. He's not at all fast, yet he's an effective ball carrier. And that's one thing you guys should really pay attention to. Understanding how to move properly. Back straight, head up, and being more deceptive rather than fast. All right. And I put this little note in here. I think he's a guy who strives off team play more than an individual. Like you might see a guy like Paul Rabel just overpower people and, you know, outrun people and things like that. Morasco's not that type of player. He's the type of guy who really feeds off good players. And there's a role for everyone.